So Michael Makuei has been moved
Mhm.
from the Ministry of Information to the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And this is the appointment that everyone in South Sudan is talking about. Why is that so?
Very, very strategic appointment there. I think when I read that, it gave me a clear picture of what is likely to happen. But as I said, this is also a prediction that I am not quite sure that I things might happen, right? But over the years, McQue has been he has been a hardliner. I mean, like, he has been calling Machar names, and over and over again, he has come out as one of the most hilarious but also intimidating cabinet minister in the entire country. So many people finds it so hard to interact with McQuay, yet he holds a very, very prominent position that should have actually given him the um, to interact with the public. But it becomes so really hard. The way how he engaged with journalists or the media houses. Sometimes it's really so intimidating, and many people find him as a bully because every time he interacts, there's always one he tells you, if you feel this country is not good for you, then you can just leave it and go where you feel it's better. I mean, he has been really a very, very a headliner for Kiir's government, and people know that very well. And he's one of the guys who has actually not been affected so much with all these cabinet reshuffles and what McQuay and Martin Elia Lumro, who is the cabinet minister for cabinet affairs. I think these are the only few people who have actually not been affected with these cabinet reshuffles. But taking McQuay to the position of the Justice Department or the Justice Docket, I think it's a strategic move because I don't doubt his credibility. He is a lawyer by profession, and he acted as a legal counsel at some point. He also acted as a judge at some point, I think, at the court. So he really has all the credentials. He has the qualifications to serve. He has what it takes to serve in that position of justice. But then, what I think sparked the debate in so many people's mind is why now, or why at this point? And when we looked at the changes that came, you remember when the issue of Machar came up in early March about the Nasser incident, and he was locked in, and then they set up a committee of investigators to go and carry out, if at all he is associated with the incident that happened in Nasser. It was the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs that actually came out and read out the charges against Machar. Remember, it was the Honorable Dr. Akech Geng, who was the then former Minister of Justice. He came out and read those charges against Machar, and which actually initiated the court to be established and to carry out the prosecution of Machar. So, and over the time, as this trial was progressing, we have seen so many discussions about the possibility, and people were saying actually one of the guys who was so much uh, into these trial of Machar was Mel. There was this kind of debate where people say Mel was the one behind this trial of Machar. He was feeling he doesn't want Machar to be there in the position and kind of all this kind of stuff. And there was also these allegations going on. I don't know if it's true, but that's why I'm saying it's allegations that the prosecutors actually these lawyers who were the prosecution team, they were actually given a day like $6,000 per day. They were funded by Mel. That's what I read the other day. So with taking out of Benjamin Ball as the vice president economic cluster, and putting McQuay into the Justice Department probably tells us that in the next few days we're likely to see like a change or a shift in the trial of Machar. And I can't tell exactly if it is a positive or a negative one, but if it is a negative one, it is going to, I mean, if it is a positive change in favor, because I mean, we're likely to see that um, McQue influences the decision that is going to be made in this case of Machar. Either one, making sure that Machar is made a free man, or the entire case is dismissed. It comes out and dismiss the entire case, or like of course, being the Minister of Justice in other countries is referred to as the Attorney General of the country, and therefore, in any case that uh, it's against the state, especially like the one going right now, it is the state against the likes of Machar. So the state has the right to withdraw the case out. They can either say, okay, we're not interested in this case anymore. They can withdraw it out, and then Machar can be reinstated. So if there is any change that is likely to happen, we might see that. So yeah, I was saying we're likely to see a different shift in the case of Machar, either the case being dismissed by the same ministry that actually met the charges against him, which is now being led by or we are likely, if it changes to be a negative one, then it's going to be a one that it's going to be so intense. But I don't really think Kiir wanted to make a political blunder in this case by by continuing with this case and maybe hoping to see a verdict that can make Machar guilty of all the charges that were made. I mean, if he does that, then that would be a political suicide for him. I don't think if he will ever be interested in taking that direction. I don't think so. Yeah, but the appointment of McQue to the justice, I think it's influenced by the ongoing trial of Machar. That was the major decision that actually influenced his appointment towards the Justice Department.
Right.
Right.
And when you look at how Michael Makuei has spent what, maybe 12 years calling Riek Machar a traitor, including on live radio, basically.
Mhm.
When you see his appointment, don't you think it is directly going to influence the results of the trial of Riek Machar in favor of the state?
I really don't think so. I mean, I really don't think if Kiir is interested, or if the state is interested in really continuing with the case of Machar. I don't really think so. They are interested, and as I said, that if they really decide to go that direction, I think it's a direction that will take the country down. And I don't see it being the right. I mean, uh, there are situations. Machar. I mean, McQue might have been calling Machar names, and but also he has to know that. There is someone who is above him, and that's none other than the president. You might have said that based on the situations at that time that were actually in play. But I think this is a time where you can take. I mean, politics. You don't have to. In politics, you don't have to be constant. You know, the way how you act, the way how you don't have to be constant. You always have to be flexible in different situations. You don't have to remain rigid in the way of your thinking and the way how you relate with some people. And I'm seeing really that there is I see that there is a new kind of I think the president is really being fed with the new advice, I guess, if not from the daughter, I mean from someone. But I feel that the presence of a dude right now as a presidential senior presidential envoy, I mean, I feel like she's really making a very um, high influence right now in the government indirectly by advising the president. But some of the decisions that I see coming out, I just see them as her influence. And especially the one that led to the appointment of Mabior Garang. So many people claim a few weeks ago she was in Nairobi with Mabior, and then uh, later Mabior was appointed. And 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 I think if there's no any political advisor for Kir who would actually mean good for him and wants to advise Kir to continue prosecuting this case to an extent where they pass a verdict that finds Machar guilty. In that, I mean, we all know the impact of treason. He either go for life imprisonment or he's executed, which is not good. Which is not good. I don't think this will ever happen. And when it happens, the country will definitely go down. And I don't think Kir wants to see that happen, or any other leader, or even McQuay himself. He doesn't want to see that happen. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
And so Amnesty International and the UN have called the trial of Riek Machar as politically tainted. And I'm just wondering, like, the appointment of McQue, does it kill any remaining hope of fairness in this trial?
I mean, the appointment of McQuay, I really don't. I'm not looking at it from the negative point of view, but I'm seeing, if the appointment of McQuay could even mean like the results from the international community, maybe regarding the issue of my child. There's a way how the international community can punish you when they find that you are not doing things in their interest. They can withhold some kind of support that they are giving you, like make so much, insert a lot of pressure on you, even withdraw their embassies or their support from you, and in that way they're indirectly calling you to act in a very rightful way. So I'm not looking at the appointment of McQuay as a like a final nail maybe on the hopes of of the issue of my child, but it could be, I mean, driven by the positive move to actually suspend the case of my child, or even just influence some kind of verdict that can work in favor of my child, and then we see them released. Yeah. So and I think Kir by this time he should have been informed maybe by the intelligence of the country, or from the view how the public has been viewing this issue, and the international community. And for all this while the issue has been going, and there are so many negative I mean comments that is coming out from different people, the public, but also people, the international community. So I think he must be having now a clear indication of what he needs to do with the issue of Machar. And if he is someone who listens to the view, I think he's going to suspend this case or withdraw the case and reinstate Machar back. So the appointment of McQuay could even mean like a positive thing in favor of Machar and his co-accused, probably making an influence to see that they are made free people. Yeah.